Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Iwing Marketplace Chit Chat, where we give the opportunities for entrepreneurs to talk about themselves and what they do so we can learn from them and we can support them. Today, we are with Gbenga Ogunjimi. Man, I hope I did pronounce your name well.
It's good enough.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity to be here.
So Gbenga is the executive director and the founder of the Nigerian Center. While I was going through some research, I found this video on his page, and the video speaks for itself.
And members of the committee, members. My name is Gbenga Ogunjimi. I appreciate the opportunity to testify today's oversight hearing. I testify both as a proud DC resident and an immigrant justice advocate. I serve as the executive director of the Nigerian Center, an immigrant, legal, and social services organization. While we are called the Nigerian Center, our services are open to all DC residents, including members of the Latino, Caribbean, African American, African, and Asian communities. Every year, we serve over 200 clients directly and even thousands indirectly. Today, I'm here to express.
Wow. So can you tell us what was that all about?
Wow, thank you for that amazing introduction. I was testifying at the DC Council for the Immigration, Justice, Legal Services Grant. It's a grant funding from the DC government to immigrant serving organizations to provide legal services. And I was making a case for them to expand that program and particularly to provide non-citizens driver's license to those who may not have one.
Wow, that is very powerful. I'm very proud of the work that you're doing, So, but tell us, what is the Nigerian Center all about?
Well, the Nigerian Center was founded on a very simple premise that this generation, this current generation of immigrants, don't have to repeat the story of the previous generation. And when we look at communities in the United States that have been able to empower and set themselves apart, whether they are the Latino communities, the Jewish communities, the Arab communities, the Indian communities, oftentimes they have a local community center. But I didn't see a lot of that in the African community, so I decided to start one, which is the Nigerian Center. Nigeria is the largest Black country in the world and a significant immigrant community in the United States. But think about it. In any part of this country, we do not have a community immigrant center. So I just decided to change that narrative, and that is the story of the Nigerian Center.
Wow. So, like an organization, what are the tasks that you're, trying to solve, or how do you help the community?
We have 4 major programs. Policy advocacy. We do policy work, both at the federal and state level, evident by the video we just saw during the introduction. We have legal services, helping our community to get legal services with their immigration status, whether it be asylum, family-based, education, work visas, student visas, all of that. It's a legal aid program. They can come into the center. We can serve them remotely across the country. We do have cultural programs. As you know, there is a significant gap in America with those who are Black to reconnect to their cultural heritage. So we're providing access to that. And lastly, we do financial programs, which we call asset building programs. Those are the 4 major programs that we do at the Nigerian Center.
Wow. Let's talk about the immigration programs. Right now, can you give us a brief description of the U.S. policies towards immigration and how it affects Africans?
Well, it is no secret that the current policy of the United States concerning immigration is mass deportation. to deport this. It's a public policy, and the idea is to just deport as many people as possible who was considered not to have come either the country rightly or overstayed or are not in good standing or good status. And there are several programs that have been rolled back. There are several protections like the TPS, temporary protected status, that has been rolled back that folks no longer have access to. So that is the current climate. In the communities, there is a significant amount of uncertainty, fear, despair. People really don't know, what they should be doing. The administration told us that they were going first to target illegals or those who are criminals. And we see that is not the case. Anyone that is not in the right legal status, even those who may be in legal status, may be impacted.
Wow. So as the executive director and founder of the Nigerian Center, what are the roles, or how are you helping, our community to, be in a better position in regards to all these immigration policies that we have in place?
Education is primary, is chief, is supreme. So we have elevated our Know Your Rights education. We do the State of the Union on immigration on Capitol Hill. We just did that about 2 weeks ago. The old video is on YouTube. I encourage folks to see that. We hold monthly, periodic Know Your Right workshops, and we make these workshops more targeted. We incorporate participation from the federal, congressional offices, city council, state council, school board, every community, media, nonprofits, all the communities come to just kind of provide folks with education. In beyond education, we also have direct services. You can come into the Nigerian Center every Thursday at no cost to you to get free legal services. If you are not in the DMV area, we're able to provide pro bono service and support for you virtually with licensed immigration attorneys. And in addition to that, we also continue to push for policies, both at the federal and state level. So that is how we are responding to immigration.
Wow, that's very powerful. I would like to hear more about the immigration services that you talked about.
Yeah, so there are predominantly a few pathways for legal immigration in the United States. The most common in our community is the family-based immigration. People come into the country because of their relatives. Next to that, in our community is the humanitarian-based immigration, which is often people getting asylum, TPS, parole, and forms of humanitarian assistance that people offer. The African community has a significant amount of student visas who may come in as a student and later may pursue other forms of pathways. So we pretty much provide support in all those areas. Whether it is family-based, employment, student, all of that, we're able to provide support. And all folks need to do is to pick up the telephone, call our direct hotline. They can go to the website. They can call our office, numbers on the screen. They can go to the website, nigeriancenter.org/immigration. They can complete a virtual immigration form. We will be able to provide them assistance.
So right now we're faced with the situation where TPS, like you mentioned, are being canceled, and folks who are benefiting from these policies are in a limbo right now. Is there a special service that you have, or what do you think can be a solution for them?
Well, first thing I should mention is protections like TPS are called blanket protection. It covers the entire country. Now, when such protections are rolled back or canceled, it does not mean individuals don't still have access to legal protection. They may not have the national protection that covers the entire country. So individuals who previously benefited TPS may be able to seek other forms of protection available to them under the law. So it's not the end of hope or possibilities. So they should contact organizations like the Nigerian Center, and our lawyers will speak to them and see what types of option they may also qualify for. Because the whole premise of TPS is your country is in a conflict, is in an armed conflict, is going through destabilization. It is not safe for you to go back to that country. The Department of Homeland Security, DHS, make that decision to protect every national of that country who has been in the US up until a certain time. It doesn't mean those conditions have stopped. It still exists, so individuals can still individually petition the system to get their own individual protection. So they should reach out. We might be able to provide them some other form of direction.
Wow, that's a good one there. So when they reach out, I mean, probably the people that came in without applying for asylum, right? So if people like that, do they still have asylum? Can they still apply for asylum as an option?
This is the point where I tell you that I'm an immigration advocate. I'm not a lawyer, so I'm not able to give legal advice. But what I would say is the lawyers will be able to examine individual cases, because some individuals may be eligible for asylum and some may not be able to be eligible for asylum based on their unique peculiarities. And the lawyers will be able to decide that. But just because you lose TPS, it doesn't mean you cannot explore other options.
That's nice. So to make it clearer again, right?
Okay.
Students that come, to the US from African countries, how can they benefit from the Nigerian Center? Like, give us a clear example.
Well, I'm glad you brought about student, because we have a campaign that we let call Special Student Relief. And the whole purpose of that is to provide folks with access to get employment authorization. If you're an international student, you are limited to the amount of hours you're able to work. And you're also limited to the location you're able to work, usually around the school premises and things like that. Limited around. Now, this program allows you to have full work authorization, even though you're a student. And that is another benefit that folks will be able to get. We have a recording, we have materials on our website, on our YouTube page that covers the whole process of getting off-campus work authorization for students. But there are also other pathways for students who have skill, the employment-based categories, so the EB1 and the EB2. These are usually those who are highly skilled professional, and the administration tend to favor that form of community or demographic. They call it merit-based immigration. There might be some pathways for those who are students want to seek opportunities in the United States as well. So those are the options for students that comes to mind that our lawyers will be able to give them more information on.
Oh, that's really nice. I love the fact that you guys are really helping students to integrate in the community in so many different ways, like the EB visa that you mentioned, and giving them opportunities to work, But we've been talking about the Nigerian Center, and you've shared some very good information. Let's hear a little bit about, you and what inspired you to create this. I know you mentioned that you didn't find a center for Africans like other communities, but I think there may be other motives.
About several years ago, I had a defining moment coming back to America. I'd initially been in America with a State Department program. I finished the program, I went back to Nigeria, and I started a business, a social enterprise, and I'll go back and forth. And this particular year, I was coming back, and I was in Atlanta airport, and the custom officer was about to deport me back to Nigeria would not allow me entry into the United States. And I was pulled for secondary screening. And I was there for several hours. I was very close to being deported and never to come back to the United States again. So I told them my story, and they did some research, and they said, your story checks out, you're a professional. We want you to change your visa status to a green card. And the immigration officer provided me the information and the tools I needed to go back to the country and to get a green card. And it is not a usual story where a deportation officer actually gives you immigration advice and what to do. So I thought that was a spiritual divine moment. I thought it was a larger purpose for how I should have that amount of favor. And I've been seeking for opportunities to just kind of pay that forward. So going back into the country, I thought, where could I have gone to? Is there a center? Is there a location? You know, I have to hire lawyers, but what about those who don't have the means to hire one? I saw that other communities have some form of resources like that. Then, you know, I went into several career paths, but ultimately about 3 years ago, you know, it just became abundantly clear that this is the time. And that is my story and how Nigerian Center became my life's purpose and life's work.
That's a beautiful story, but I was hoping to hear at least a brief summary of what you told the immigration officers, you know, to tie the knot.
Oh, I'll tell you. You know, again, keep in mind, I'd come to the country to be trained by the U.S. government in nonprofit management. And as a result of that, I started a nonprofit organization in Washington, D.C. And we had offices in both America and in several countries in Africa. And I'll go back and forth. So I told the immigration officer that I don't think I'm doing anything wrong. I'm doing the exact training I came here to receive a couple of years ago. So their argument was, you cannot do a business on a visitor's visa. You are a visitor. You are violating. So I don't know. I started it based on the training that I received here, and I'm doing exactly that. So they put me into holding, you know, those glass walls you see in television, and you can't see outside, but those outside can see you or something like that. I was in there for several hours. So I think they were calling the State Department. They were calling everybody to see if my story checks out. And finally, they said, you know what? Your story checks out. We are impressed that you are actually doing what you came here for training. But this is the time that you have to switch your immigration status. That was what happened.
Wow, that's beautiful. And thanks for sharing that, you know. So, but what are some of the advice you have for our African community at large, you know, be it in business or social sector or immigration? What advice do you have for our community?
What we are seeing at the community center is folks wait too long before they ask for help. And by the time they speak up, things are significantly bad. So what I've been telling folks is, immediately you come to the United States, our family, our friends, let them go seek a professional organizations like the Nigerian Center to examine what their options are immigration-wise, because it's a lot more easier to do it at the very early stages at your journey. You know, the second is, you know, we are all we have. You know, more than ever before, you know, we don't have the luxury of not collaborating and working together as a community. In the Nigerian community, we recently launched the Community Immigration Defense Fund, where individuals pool money together and say, anybody in our community going through immigration that can afford to pay for themselves, go to the Nigerian Center, the community will pay for it. This is the opportunity where we have to organize and support each other as a community. My third advice is, organizations like the Nigerian Center is a community initiative. We all have the responsibility to support our Nigerian Center, our Cameroonian Center, our Ghanaian Center. Every form of local organization that we have the responsibility. And I want to speak a little bit more about that. We are naturally philanthropic in our community. We are generous. We believe so much in giving. If you live in the United States, I think your primary philanthropy should start from home. Your home is the United States. It is not your village in Lagos or Yaoundé or Accra. It's in PG counties. This is your first base. You have to support your ecosystem here, and with the overflow of that, then you can now go back and support home. We have our community centers. They need support. It's our responsibility. We can't be going to other communities. It doesn't make us look good. We talk about how we are prosperous. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have engineers, and we can use that to support our community. That is not adding up. So I will really make a call to action and say, community must rally around our community centers, uplift them so they can be in the position to support the less fortunate.
Wow, that's beautiful. And for people watching, Cameroonians in the US, Nigerians in the US, and Africans as a whole, how can they support the Nigerian Center?
Thank you. So please follow us on social media, join our newsletter on our website. The information will be on the screen. We are 501c3 organizations. Your donations are tax deductible. Consider making a donation to the Nigerian Center. We also have volunteer opportunities. Once you go to our website, you would see volunteer opportunities that you can support. But if you know anyone who needs these services, help is here. Let them know they can come to the Nigerian Center, and they don't have to be Nigerians. The program is open to everyone.
Wow, that's beautiful. I mean, I'm everyone watching, if you have a relative that is coming in as a student, no matter where they are in the US, please send them to the Nigerian Center so they can speak with attorneys and Gbenga himself, so they can get the family, if they are lonely, or they can find out about their options that they have, in order to integrate. We have many situations where intelligent students come, but because they don't open up after their studies, they find themselves back home, which is still a very good thing, but getting a lot of experience and exposure in the US is also vital to your success when you go back home. Am I right with that?
Absolutely, right on point, right on the money. Yes.
So again, Gbenga, thanks for joining us today. And
thank you.
We're very proud of the work that you're doing to the African community and the Nigerian community. And, you can add, if there's something that I didn't ask, maybe it is the opportunity you can add it.
No, I think everything is fine. We just want to say thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm really glad that you provided us this platform, and thank you so much for the support.
You're welcome. Guys, thanks for watching this interview. Please share the interview so other people can watch it. It's going to be on Iwing Marketplace YouTube. And also visit iwingmarketplace.com to learn about the businesses that are on the platform. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social media. Thanks again, guys, for watching. And we're out. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.